Hey guys, good afternoon. This is Gabe Roberts from Back to Nature Lifestyle Medicine, health coach and entrepreneur. Going to give you some tips today, and I kind of want to dive into addictions and addictions in our society, and how we have a society of people suffering today. And I want to kind of dissect these addictions a little bit. Now, when it comes to addictions, we have ones that are very obvious, and again, this is the people that are taking drugs, people that are taking pain pills regularly, opioids, narcotics, sometimes prescription medication, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, nicotine, chewing tobacco, again, sugar, junk food, processed food, gambling. These are all sources of addiction that we know of. But then there's a whole nother section of ones that are not so obvious, that are almost encouraged by society, and this can include things like consumerism, shopping, okay? Being encouraged to do things that might not be the healthiest. There's a lot of people out there that actually have addictions to working out, people that will not stop working out despite their body's signs telling them that they're breaking down. That's a true source of an addiction. That's the true definition of addiction, is whenever you're doing something so habitually that it becomes dangerous, or it starts to interfere with your life and interfere with your health, but yet you still can't stop the habit. That's a true definition of addiction. So whenever we're looking at addictions, and right now, one of the most non-obvious addictions out there that people are just kind of blowing by, we have our children addicted to screens today. We're in an epidemic of children, addicted to staring at these iPad screens. And this is a true addiction that surges dopamine. And when people try to take the screen from their child, that's like taking cocaine from an addict. That's the real, again, source of addiction. So to understand this, we can't ask the question of what's wrong with the addiction, but what's right with the addiction. In other words, what is this addiction giving the person that they lack in their own internal life? What is going on with them where they have to do this to fill that void, okay? That's a very important question that gets overlooked by a number of health practitioners and health doctors and things like that. And ultimately, you're not going to help the person deal with their pain unless you get to these submerged issues. Oftentimes, what people get from these addictions is a source of pain relief. They get a sense of peace. They get a temporary sense of control. That's what these addictions allow them. So the question comes, what is going on with these people's lives where they lack control, where they are not dealing with pain effectively? These things have to be brought to the surface if that person's going to become empowered and live the healthiest version of their life. This is not a genetic thing. If you're looking at pain, this is not down to genetics. There's no lab testing for this, okay? You have to examine the people's lives. A lot of times these addictions are caused because of emptiness that people have. There is an emotional trauma that occurs in people at a young age. And what happens is it can be very, very simple. Sometimes parents are so busy with work, they're trying to put food on the table, that they're at this, sitting at the computer, and they're like, oh, I gotta get this deadline done, my boss is gonna be upset. And you're a little kid's playing with a toy truck and runs it into their leg, and they go, not now. That instance creates a turmoil in that child's mind, where they're not wanted, where they don't feel loved. And as a result, they'll develop this emptiness, and this will develop lifelong habits of trying to look externally to fill that emptiness. Why do you think so many people take gym selfies? They're working out and they're taking selfies of themselves on a daily basis. They're looking for outside forces to try to fill this emptiness inside of them. That's something to think about, because even if they're in the gym, these people are vastly missing something in their health, and it's ultimately going to be like acid under the surface. It's going to eventually rise up and increase the risk of chronic illness. So you can't look at genetics. You have to look at the person's lives and where it's lacking, and allow that pain to come to the surface. And only when a sense of compassion is present, when a person has the right intentions in their heart and they're being authentic, when will a person allow themselves to see the truth of what's causing this issue, allow that pain to rise to the surface and be with it. That's the only way a person can fully understand this and fully start to heal and fully ultimately start to grow. I hope this helps to get back to your healthy, vibrant, best version of yourself. You have to get back to roots, back to nature. You truly have to love yourself. Thanks for listening.